What's good? Welcome to First String Podcast, presented by Bet Rivers. On today's episode of First String Podcast, the Commanders' pup list is out. Ron is a little testy in the press conference today. Spider Mitchell on the move. Baseball. We're going to make our picks. We're going to get that right in and right out of the way. And we're going to send some prayers up for John Mechie. So we got a lot of show for you today. So we're going to jump right into it right now. Let's get it. Welcome back to First String Podcast presented by Bet Rivers. Make sure you download that Bet Rivers app or go to www.betrivers.com. You must be 21 years or older to play. I'm going to bring the squad in right away. First off, let's bring in a guy that never failed a conditioning test. My main man said, what's good?
All the time.
All the time. All the time. Ready for camp to open. Now we're going to bring in a guy that doesn't have a clue what a big nickel is, but he says that Dallas is always running a big nickel. My main man, Ant, what's good?
I said, what? I said, what? I said we carried a big pickle. That's what I said.
Pause. It's too early.
No pause. Hey, no pause, player. No pause, player.
Hey, now we know why the Commanders left Richmond, because my main man Paulie's out snatching cars. The most passionate fan you and I both know. What's good, Paulie?
Would you say you in love with Don Ripple?
He's in love with Don Ripple. Hey, so I just heard this funny stat today that is sort of amazing to us as Commanders fans, but we're gonna get into this right away. That the Cowboys led the league in 3 safeties on the field last year. That's a true thing right there. They said the Cowboys led the league in 3 safeties on the field. Hey, Paulie, what do we call that?
We call that a Buffalo nickel.
We call it a Buffalo nickel. The Cowboys call it a big nickel. Just a little insight for y'all. The Cowboys led the league in 3 safeties on the field. How about them apples?
Hey, look, let me say this though. Let me say this. Let me say this though. This the difference though. The Cowboys 3 safety look is more of three D backs. You know what I mean? That third safety is actually a hybrid corner safety where our big nickel. Yeah, look, you about to have me saying big nipple. Our big nickel. our big nickel is a hybrid linebacker, safety hybrid linebacker. What it is a safety hybrid corner. You know what I mean? They basically put the extra D back on the field, but we're actually trying to put a hybrid linebacker on the field.
Facts.
And I'll say, based off of that, I'd rather have a hybrid linebacker.
Hey, well, we got a lot of show to get into today. So let's get these baseball picks out of the way. All right. And say it. I just got a question for you, bro. Did you put your money on the Dodgers yesterday? Because they only hit the ball one way. They only hit the ball one way yesterday.
Hey, said, tell them, man, they can't win every game, man. A blind squirrel find a nut every now and then. Balls.
Hey, so look, let's get this one right now. I talked to Cal earlier, man, and Cal he got some other lines going, and I saw them things. I had to ride with him too. He had a lot of games in 0-0 first innings today. So Cal, hopefully you're doing great right there. But let's get to this Washington Nationals, LA Dodgers line here. For Washington, the win line is plus $220. The run line is plus 1.5, plus 104. The Dodgers win line is minus 165, and they are minus 125 on the run line with a total runs of over 9 plus 100 under. I'm sorry, Did it go up to? Did it go up to 9? Yeah, it did, and I messed up the graphics. So over 9 is plus 100, and under 9 is minus 118. I left that as minus under 8, but it should be 9. That's on the graphics department right there. Said, we talking about the Dodgers, so you're going last. You're going last. And who you got?
Like you said, a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while. Pause. The Dodgers are gonna get back on track. Said, I'm gonna need you to cue it up in just a second, player, because it's about to go. It's about to be back to business as usual. Okay, give me the win line, give me the over, give me all that stuff. Okay, whatever favors the Dodgers, I want it.
You want it all. He want it all. He want it all. Sometimes you can be a little too greedy. Sometimes wouldn't expect anything less. Paulie, who you got?
Hey, look at here, man. Look at here, man. The Nats own the Dodgers, man. Give me the Nationals money line, baby. Let's go. Place the bets, cash and checks, man. Last night wasn't no fluke. Every team got that one team they got their number they play good against. And the Nats, they rise up for the Dodgers. Pause.
Ball. Hey, shout out to Doc Walker for the Los Angeles Dodgers, but I'm going with the Nats just like Paulie do. But give me that run line, that plus 1.5. I'm gonna play a little smart ball here. Give me the plus 1.5. That's at plus 104. Okay, Sid, it's on you. Let me get you.
Hold on. 104 plus 1.5.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, that's your bet. You know what I mean? Stand by your bet and all that. But let me tell you something, bro.
I know what you're about to say. Scared money.
If the Dodgers win, it ain't gonna be close. They're gonna be hitting over there. And if they win, it ain't gonna be close, bro. If you gonna play the Nats, you might want to play them at the money line. And you got the opportunity to make more money.
You're right, Paulie. You're absolutely right. Say it. It's on.
He right, man. A blind squirrel. You know the saying. Yada yada yada. It was a fluke that they lost the game the other day, but I expect them at home to get back on track. Washington still trying to figure out whether or not they're gonna keep their best player on the team. I don't think they're gonna go over 9. I think it's gonna be under 9. But it's not going to be close, like 8-1, something like that right there. So give me, I ain't going to really make no money because, the Dodgers will win, but give me that under 9 for the plus 100.
Hey, stats and facts.
I tee them up for the here, there,
stats
there,
and facts. Hey, stats and facts.
Go ahead.
Hey, man, look up Juan Soto since the All-Star break. Because I swear that dude is on fire. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. They floating his name out there for all these trades. And this dude been doing his thing, man. You get an opportunity, look up his stats, man, since the All-Star break.
You got to keep your stock high. You want to go somewhere he can win.
Yes, indeed.
He really could be 0 for 20 right now, and his stock is still gonna be the same. You know what I'm saying? No. He could be 0 for 20 right now. His stock still is gonna be high. It is gonna be what it is. But the fact that he's going through all this contract stuff and they floating his name out for the trade here and there, and the fact that he ain't letting that ball run, because every time I'm looking, I'm seeing like last night, Juan Soto with the game-winning run with the triple. A couple nights before that, Juan Soto with a home run. Juan Soto, you know what I mean? So he balling. You got to be on fire. I've been hearing his name too much, and on the field, not just in trade talks.
There you go.
So since Sid let us down, you telling me Juan Soto hitting the ball there, hitting it there, hitting over there, it's going there.
Hey, Paula did preview my little dance.
Hey, but don't nobody do it like Sid.
Don't nobody do it like that. Don't nobody do it like you, though, man. I apologize for that. I really do. But don't nobody do it like you, bro.
Hey, it's a big thing, man.
You know what I mean?
They're going to be back to business, man. They're not going to be doing like this. They're going to be like this.
There you go. Hey, you like to when you do it, it's like eating Fruit Loops. When I do it, it's like eating fruit rings. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Hey, Paulie, you saying even if you still don't know what he's saying?
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, bro, can nobody do it like you do it, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See?
Let's get to our second game.
We all have to try to imitate, but no one can duplicate.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm
everybody
saying?
got their good flavor. Hey, let's get to our second game. The Texas Rangers and the Seattle Mariners here. All right, the Texas Rangers win line is plus 140. Their run line is plus 1.5 and minus 155. The Seattle Mariners are minus 165 on that win line. They are on their run line, they're plus 130. All right, their over under set at 8. The over is minus 140, 114, and the under is minus 105. Say it, who you got?
You know, it's hard to believe that even though the Rangers have struggled, that these numbers are that close. I expect to see some numbers similar to the Dodgers in his game because Seattle has won quite a few games coming down the stretch. Yeah. So I even though I like the Rangers, they already proved to me that they're not ready to make no run nowhere. So go ahead and give me the home team. 8. You know what? Give me the over.
The over.
I'm gonna take over in this one right here. But Seattle.
Okay.
Seattle and the over.
And who you got?
Come on, Sid. It's about placing bets. Cash and checks, baby. You gotta take the win plus 140 for the Rangers. They terrible. But we just talked about that blind squirrel, right? So we gotta roll with the chance that this might be one of the long wins that they get in a long time moving forward. You got to take them, man, and give me the plus 1.5 on the run line. Can I? Is that okay? Is that a foul?
Oh,
That's a party foul.
They correlate. If they correlate, you can't do it.
Oh, okay. Well, I tell you what. You give me the under on the 8 then.
The under on the 8. Gotcha.
Give me the under on the 8.
Paulie, who you got?
Hey, what's the run line again?
That run line for the Texas Rangers is minus 155.
It's minus 155. All right.
For the Mariners, plus 130.
Hey, the manager's still doing cocaine, right? Give me the Rangers money line, man. Give me that plus, right? Shout out, man. Shout out, Harold. Hey, shout out Harold Washington, bro. Hey, look. He might be in Atlanta. Ron Washington. Shout out Ron Washington, man. Hey, look, he might be. Look, he might. Harold. Hey, man, that's a good cocaine name, Harold Washington. He changed name from Ron to Harold. Hey, look, look, man. Look, man, when you doing that sugar boogie like that, he might be in Atlanta. But he still thinks he's managing the Texas Rangers.
His heart is in Texas on the table with dollar bills.
Paulie is killing me, bruh.
He said his heart is in Texas on the table with $100 bills.
When you doing that good sugar booger, bro, he might be in Atlanta, but his brain is telling him he's still a manager of Texas Rangers.
Hey, listen. Hey, give me the Seattle Mariners on the win line.
He's still filling up the lineup like Sosa.
Oh my God. Oh my God. All right. Hey, let me get into the chat real fast, man. Bruce Glass, first in the building today is training camp. Training camp is here. Clarence Coley, second in the building today. My guy Drew.
My guy.
Drew.
My guy.
What's up, Drew?
Oh,
talk to me, baby.
Yeah. Hey,
Drew, dog.
This is for you, said. That's for Cal. He said, feel better, said. But you know how that goes.
I don't even see said wear Atlanta Falcons apparel.
Tell him it ain't time yet, sir. Tell him it ain't time yet.
Hey,
you gotta wait for that first loss.
Linda's in the building. Clarence taking Drew is taking the
you gotta wait for that first loss. That's what you call emotional support.
Yeah, and he getting at the he's already hitting up the graphics department talking about y'all need me to proofread. You need me to proofread. Said I already took it, Drew. Stop messing with me, man. Kyle said the Mariners, Texas Rangers from Buckeye Nation in the building. And then of course Drew just checking back in saying what's good because he letting everybody know he here. Now we know Ron O'Neill's in the building too. He'll chime in every now and again. Hey, listen. This is a challenge for everyone in the chat. If you could tell me what this image is, tell me the name of this image that I'm about to put up. First String Podcast will have something special for you. I'm going to put it to you that way. In the chat, you got to tell us what the name of this is right here. What is that on the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers head? Now,
that's the new helmet. That's the new helmet for Benjamin St. Juice.
It has a specific name. It does. It has a specific name to it.
The St. Juice.
The St. Juice. I like it. It does have a specific name to it. It is to reduce concussions, which is what Paulie is literally referring to, right? But can somebody tell me actually what it's called? I know what it's called because my Little League Boys Club, we practiced with those back in a long time ago. The NFL, you're going to see these all over training camp here in a little bit. But if you tell us what that is, First String Podcast, I have a little something special for you.
Let me tell you what the problem with that is, though. They wearing this shit in practice, then they get out in the game and don't have that same protection. It should be easier to catch a concussion.
There the name of it is right there.
It's all about getting them the game day, Paulie. They only care about getting them the game day healthy. They don't care about once they get in the game.
That's what it's called. It's called the Guardian helmet. It's called the Guardian helmet. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, I thought it was called the Cushionator 2000.
The Guardian cap. Yeah, Cal has it. Cal's on it. Buckeye.
It's called the Scott Jackson. Yeah, those two over there don't get it. I love you, Scott.
No. Kyle, Buckeye Nation. Hey, yeah, it's the reduced concussions. Dub is in the building. First String Podcast shirt. Dub saying what's up to everybody. Okay, now
what up, Dub? Speaking of Dub, what up, Cal? My guy Cal, placing bets, cashing checks. KDub _15. Check him out on Twitter. He got you.
The PUP list is out. The physically unable to perform list is out, and the Commanders have 4 players on that list. We have center Chase Rouillet, center Tyler Lawson, Chase Young, and Logan Thomas. We got a little bit of good news about our PUP list and some of the players that's on it, and we got some news that we sort of expected as well. First, let's talk about center Chase Rouillet. Chase Rouillet is coming off of a fractured fibula. And I'm not a doctor. I just play one on a podcast every now and again. And the fibula is the smaller bone. It's the non-weight bearing bone. They say he should be the first one off of that PUP list. Tyler Lawson has an Achilles, and for a big guy, that's probably going to linger a little while. And then
no. Is Tyler Lawson coming off an Achilles? Or he had a rupture of the Achilles.
Yeah. I think it was a rupture of the Achilles.
So he's coming off the rupture, or he has a sore Achilles. Which one is it?
No.
Not sure.
They did not give a time frame for him. They just said Chase Rouillet is probably going to be the first one off, and then Chase Young will be probably on it for a little bit, and after that, Logan Thomas should be about ready for week 1, which is they're not really rushing him, but he possibly could be ready for week 1. And our offense will look a hell of a lot better with Logan Thomas ready for week 1.
All right, this is what I need you to do before Thursday. Before Thursday, go over that pup. Go over the rules for the pup list.
Already done. Already
all
done.
Right, so if you're on the pup list to start the season, what's the rule? What's the demographics on that?
4 weeks.
So you got to do the first 4 weeks of the season before you're eligible. Okay, I look for Logan Thomas to start the first 4 weeks on the pup list there.
Yeah. But to get to the regular season PUP list, you have to be on the PUP list during training camp. The minute that you practice with the team, you are no longer eligible to go on the PUP list for the regular season. Now you're taking up a roster spot.
And that's why I said I look for Logan Thomas to be on there the first 4 weeks of the season. Like, I don't see him coming off in training camp.
Right.
I think they're gonna give him the first 4 weeks of the season. You gotta think, man, that was a late injury. That was late in the season. That Raider game, that was like one of the last 6 games of the year that we had. Yeah, so that was late in the season, man. So I'm looking for him, especially you know what I mean, they got your boy Cole Turner. You know what I mean? They're pretty excited about him. You know, so and you still got my man Bates out there. You know, so I'm really thinking that they're gonna give him the extra 4 weeks, man. You know, if he ain't ready now, I don't want to hear like a week from now that we're gonna take him off because he's looking at just they need to take their time with him. That was late in the season, man.
Right.
You know, Chase happened in week 6, so
right.
It's possibly he could be ready 2-3 weeks from now.
And that's what Ron was real testy about today too. He said he's not rushing nobody, and it's unrealistic to put a timetable on the guys. They had serious knee injuries.
Yeah, exactly.
Linda said right here, ESPN says 6 weeks today. That is facts, but there was a new bargaining agreement. There was a new bargaining agreement that just took place between the players union and the NFL, where it's now 4 weeks. So
wait, so you said Chase got hurt in week 6?
Chase
Young got week 6 against Atlanta.
No,
that was Atlanta game. Got hurt.
Tampa game.
Okay, yeah, Tampa game. I believe that was week 6 though.
And Kyle here says a ruptured Achilles, no joke. 254 days since my surgery. Ran 10 miles today. And this is why Kyle is my hero right now. I'm telling y'all right now, man. Y'all see Kyle on that bike and out running. He's coming off of that.
Hit his ass.
No. He's coming off that. He's coming off that ruptured Achilles. And Don is in the building. What's good, Don?
And let's say this about Chase Young, though. Now that Chase Young is officially on the PUP list, let's cancel that Booger McFarland 20 sacks and 14 forced fumbles crap that he was talking about, man. I'm not looking for no accolades out of Chase Young this year. I just want Chase Young to come back and be healthy and build his way back to being a dominant player. So if he give me 8-9 games of the Chase Young that we all expecting, I'm good with that, man. You know what I mean? I don't rush this. You don't have those type of years where you are vying for defensive player of the year and all that when you coming off a serious knee injury that happened, well into the season. You don't do that, man. You don't rehab all year long and then come back right before the season start and then you're gonna have it unless you're Adrian Peterson. You know what I mean? But that's 1 out of 10 though.
So Chase could potentially still do it.
Yeah. I mean, hey, nothing is 100%. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying that the odds are 9 out of 10 players is not going to do that. You know what I mean? You can look at Bosa. When Bosa came back, he had a nice year. He had a good year. But you got to look at it like this, though, too. That defense was already humming and ready to go. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like he was the main cog or you know what I mean? Or he was carrying the defense. He was just able to come in there and be part of the defense.
Exactly.
So we looking at Chase Young. People are looking at Chase Young to carry this defense.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why his expectations are so high. That's why he's catching so much criticism. Because people are looking for him to carry the defense.
Well,
I mean, you giving all them answer. You giving all the answer because I'm there. So I don't know if you shut up there.
I'll read the comment. My bad. I'll read the comment. My bad.
Look, the comment. Read it out. Hit the comment. Say it.
Let us say it was 112 here today. I just walked to the mailbox and came straight in. A day near hydroplane off the toilet seat. That's some real sweating. Get in line, Linda. It was 105 here.
Listen, that's some serious heat.
Pause.
Ron Rivera today was real testy in the press conference. He was real testy in the
That's
press
some, that's some serious heat. Let me know what you got to do. Number 1 or number 2?
Don't want to know.
That's some serious heat. If you doing number 2.
Listen. So somebody asked me today, is it playoffs or bust? Is it playoffs or bust for him? And my man answered emphatically, not a question. Not a question. Now, my question to y'all is he feeling this way because of the owner situation and we can't find maybe a better coach? Ron to me seems the most secure of any coach in the NFL with just what he's dealing with the Commanders owner. So
he said absolutely, right?
Absolutely not.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah, he said it's not a playoff or bust season for him.
I think these guys have false delusions of grandeur. They are very much, they drink their own Kool-Aid. And I think it's kind of, and this isn't even speaking as a guy who's a Cowboy fan. I think when I listen to you all,
I'm gonna cut you off right there because that's just what I was going to ask you.
No.
Mike McCarthy. No. Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy. Playoff or bust?
Yes.
Oh,
It ain't even playoff or bust. It's NFC Championship or bust. It's not just playoffs. Don't let Jerry fool you. But so this is my thing. They
came in the same season. That's why I'm asking you that. They both got hired the same year. That's why I'm asking you.
Oh no, but see, I do think that the cachet is different, right? You know, you look at the Cowboys, they got Jerry Jones, the master marketer. You got, the most valuable franchise per dollars in the world. That type of stuff, it puts a lot of pressure on you, considering the 5 championships, 3 in the 90s, all that stuff, right? It speaks to a different type of pressure. But I'll say when it comes to the Washington franchise, it just speaks to the problems of the top down. The guy at the highest level has shown to be incompetent in a lot of ways, and it allows the coach to feel like a coach that has a regimen, a coach that has a certain thing about him that he's seen success. You should say absolutely it's win or bust. That's a problem. Like, that's a problem for me that you've had an MVP quarterback, you've been to a Super Bowl, you've seen what success looks like, and you say no. You should say yes just because you're holding yourself accountable to a certain caliber. But that's just me. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
Clarence answered my question. What I was about to say is it's similar. With them upgrading the quarterback position, with majority of defense coming back being healthy, with beginning of the season, the outlook of every team at the beginning of the season is to make it to the Super Bowl. Every team. If you ask any player right now going to training camp, what is your goal for the season? Super Bowl. Now, whether or not heat is on him, like he was saying, it depends on the owner. Now, the Cowboys, long as Sean Payton is still on the sideline, and Sean Payton left and went to New Orleans and won a chip, Mike McCarthy's job is going to determine what happens this year.
I got a question, Paulie. You can't answer this question. How many owners are in the States? Out of 32 owners, how many owners are in the States right now?
For a Super Bowl?
No. The question is, how many owners are in the States?
Well, I can't answer the damn question.
Paulie, you know the answer.
No, but it is. They don't understand the damn question.
Yeah, one of the owners is overseas.
Okay, I got you.
On his yachty.
I got you.
Dodging a commission. So no coach is coming here. That's why he's safe.
So what's your original question? Are you asking, do we think he's safe, or are you asking,
no,
how do we feel about the comment that he says he don't feel the pressure?
Yeah, I mean, there's no other coach. Yeah, facts.
All right, okay. Now, as far as the comment of him not feeling the pressure, I haven't been liking nothing Ron Rivera been saying lately, man. I don't appreciate him talking about this is a what if season. What if? If season, if the offensive line stay healthy, if Curtis Samuels return to form. I don't like none of that, man. That's loser talk. You know what I mean? And the fact he's saying he don't feel no pressure, that's loser talk too. You know what I mean? Because you're supposed to always feel the pressure to succeed and win. Exactly. You ain't never supposed to feel like, well, if we go 6-11, it's okay. My job security should be good because, we're building something. And, I said 3 to 5 years. Well, this is the third year, bro. This is the third year. So don't come out with another 7-win season. You know what I mean? We gave you a mulligan on the first 7-win season because you lucked up and got a division out of it. And most coaches always get a mulligan in their first year. But last year, you and your offensive coaches, you and your entire coaching staff did a shitty job. Not just the players on the field, the offensive, the coaching staff. They did a shitty job, and that's a direct correlation to the head coach. All right? In the offseason, one of your assistant head coach, defensive coordinator, went all rogue on you, and you think because you slapped him with a fire, that's going to change something or check that the heat is on you, the heat is on Del Rio, the heat is on Scott Turner, the heat is on. I don't know what you talking about, man.
The heat is on.
Yeah.
I mean, you should always feel like your job is on the line. I don't care if you're coming off a Super Bowl championship season. You should feel like my job, you should always, that sense of urgency needs to trickle down from the head coach to the players.
Now,
period.
The reason why he does feel so secure in this thing is because he's dealing with a lot. Now, he did say that they are building the thing in the right direction. But did he say, and you know what, Paulie, this goes back to last year, something that Corey kept telling you and I. He kept telling us that Ron is going to see all 5 of these years. Oh, I was saying that he wasn't, right?
No. Yeah, I mean, I'll give him an 85% chance of seeing all 5 years. But let me say this too. Mark Jackson was building the team in the right direction too.
Ooh.
Yeah, he was.
Oh.
Yeah, he was. Paulie's spitting fire, y'all.
I tell y'all, man, I've been telling y'all since the season ended, Ron is my trigger. So this is the stuff is coming out of his mouth is as Mike Tyson would say, ludicrous.
Oh boy.
Come on, man. Well, you got to realize, bro, when you speaking to the media, when you speaking to JP Finley, when you speaking to Ben Stanley, you speaking to the whole team. Because they hear this stuff.
Hold on. Here's your boy Cal. And I think that's for you.
Cowboys never do anything. I have a better chance hitting the lottery tonight than the Cowboys making the NFC Championship. Kyle, this is my response. If we're still better than the Commanders, who?
Wait. What happened? Hey,
Come on now.
There are keywords.
Don't do it like that. Don't do it. He wasn't even out of pocket right there, man.
I'm being
trigger happy over there.
Hold on, this is the thing. This is the thing. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm talking about the expectations of the owner being passed down to the coach. A owner that is highly invested. We know how this goes, guys. That is the expectation every year. All irrational Cowboys fans say what at the beginning of a new football season?
Going to the Super Bowl.
Going to the Super Bowl.
Every year.
I'm not the irrational fan, and I haven't been that way since like 2000. Since Romo fumbled that ball in Seattle, I've not been irrational. At
that was one of the best weekends I had in my life.
Wrong makes a lot of sense to me. So I'm not speaking that's what's going to happen. I'm saying the expectation that's put on Cowboy Nation by Cowboy Nation is Super Bowl or bust, NFC Championship or bust.
This is that's the reason why y'all not going to have a successful season. Is because you went to you won the division last year, right? You went to the playoffs. All right, the year before that, your man Dak got hurt. He started out on fire. Started the season out on fire, right? So you get a mulligan on that first year. Last year you bounced back, went undefeated in the division, You lost to a good team in the playoffs. Even though that you might have been better on paper, 49ers
right.
is a
team,
on paper, but the 49ers are a damn good team. They're a hell of a team. They got just as much as talent. You see, the problem with the on paper thing is people. That's like playing fantasy football. That's like playing Madden. But if you look at it, go ahead.
I'll say this. I agree with you, but I think they're both equally overrated.
I hear you, but look, my whole point is, what I'm saying is, I think they're both equally good as the teams that they are. It's not like y'all went out there and lost to a 7-9 team who just snuck in the playoffs. You know what I mean? You lost to a good San Francisco 49er team 2 years removed from a Super Bowl. And now you're talking about in the offseason, the pressure is on the head coach. You can't function like that, man. Head coach can't function like that as a team. Yeah, I know. I just said. That's what I'm saying. I know. I just said that the head coach need to always, have a sense of urgency. But that's ridiculous. That's not even having a sense of urgency. That's saying, man, you got 1 foot out the door, and if you don't do what I need you to do, you're gonna have both feet out the door. Well, that's not a sense of urgency. That's a threat.
If Sean Payton was available,
hey Linda, I'd rather you roast me like a pig.
if Sean Payton was available, when they hired Mike McCarthy, Sean Payton would have been the head coach of the Cowboys.
Of course. Hold on. If Sean Payton was available, it was like 5 head coaching jobs that year. If Sean Payton was available that year, he would have been the choice of all 5. He would have been our choice. Yeah. What are you talking about? Of course. Of course he got better. Of course he got better credentials. Of course he got better credentials than Mike McCarthy and Ron Rivera and anybody else that was hired that year. Come on, man. Sean Payton's a Hall of Fame coach.
Let me clean up the chat a little bit. Roger Smith is in the building. What's good, Roger? Hey, one of our favorites is back. Teddy E, what they call him, right? Teddy E.
Shout out Teddy E. What's up, man? Where you been at, bro? You been enjoying your summer? Hey, you know what I mean? Yeah. Hey, I'm glad you came back, baby. It's football season. You know it.
Football season. Buckeye Nation said, "Well said, Paulie." Roger Smith said, "What did Roger say?" Roger said,
I'm trying to get my man off the couch, Buckeye Nation."
He said, "Ron ain't going anywhere. We won't be able to find a good coach. It'll be an unproven coach, probably a college football coach."
That's not true. That's not true at all.
Somebody to come to the Commanders, a good football coach will come to the Commanders and work with Dan Snyder.
He'll drop the bag. These guys got money in excess.
Coming to take their money. It's not happening.
Hey, listen, Ron Rivera has done so much for this organization that he's been beyond the head football coach, that he's going to last this 5 years. Next year, he's going to get an extension. The only way Ron Rivera will not be this football coach is when they force Dan to sell the team. The new owner is going to come in here. He's going to relieve Ron of his duties because he's going to have to strip the organization from top to bottom. And the organization, as built right now from top to bottom, is built from Ron Rivera.
It's built from
every position is been Ron Rivera appointed outside of Jason Wright, and he came from the league. But everybody else, Martin Mayhew, what's the other dude? Herney. Marty Herney, all assistant coaches, all the scouts, that whole staff is Ron Rivera handpicked. You know what I mean? So he's gonna be here. Dan is not even in owner mode. Dan is on a run eating, man. He's like a rapper right now.
Well, let me ask you this. Is it possible that new ownership sees the value in Ron Rivera?
No.
Hold on. Let me finish, Paulie.
No, I'm telling you, no.
Hold on. Sees the value in him and says, you know what? You weren't given a fair shake under terrible management. We know your pedigree. Let's see what you can do.
No. And I say no because he has too much control, too much power. You know what I mean? The new ownership is going to delegate that power. The new ownership is going to have a president who is actually a president. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do, you know what I mean, with football decisions. You know, like the new owner is going to have a general manager who's going to have everything to do with football decisions. A new owner is going to have a head coach who answers to the general manager. You know what I mean? So that's why the way what Dan did, Dan just dumped his problems on to somebody else while he could be on the run eating. That's what he did, man. Dan's on the run eating, bro.
Oh, he's in Santorini, Greece right now, is what you're telling me.
Oh man.
Hey, man. Dan one more charge for being a black man.
Hey. let's get to this question right here.
He on the run eating.
Let's get to this one right here. We're gonna come off the Commanders and jump right back on the Commanders here in a minute. First things first. We all celebrated Kyler Murray signing his new deal.
Oh boy.
Oh, we did. Oh, hey, Kyler Murray, get your man. And Lamar, we said you was up next. Well, here's a word to the wise. Lamar Jackson, you better read your contract because they snuck one in on old Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is required per his contract to do at least 4 hours of independent study. Kyler Murray to study hall. Kyler Murray to study hall.
Wait, independent?
Independent study.
Basically, what they're saying is outside of the facilities. Instead of being at home watching House of Dragons, he need to be at home watching the 49ers and the Rams defense. Is what they telling him, and I don't have a problem with it, man.
It's easy.
Look, just because the dude is the first pick in the draft, you know what I mean, doesn't mean you don't, as an organization, develop him as a player. It's called player development.
It's called player development.
He's been with them long enough where they know what his bad habits are and they know what his good habits are. So I don't see no problem with them putting that in the clause. And evidently, he didn't really had a fuss with that neither because he signed the contract. It wasn't like it's something that he didn't know about. And then 2 days later, he read the fine print on the contract. And he's like, man, what the hell is this? Like, nah, he knew it going into it. So I don't see that. It's called protecting your investment and player development. Yo, you would be amazed how many professional NFL players don't know how to look at film, don't know how to break film down.
Paulie, we've heard that from B. Mitch on several occasions, right? But also what we've heard from B. Mitch on several occasions is this. When he became a professional, he thought that you come to practice, you go home. That's your job. Then he found out that they put little messages in the reel-to-reel that they had where they required them to watch these films. And Tom Brady, the GOAT, has been said, Rob Gronkowski said that he watches 40 hours a week of film. Right?
Listen,
now Gronk was kidding. He said, I don't watch film because Tom watches it. He tell me what to do. Now, he was joking. Now, Gronk is a big kid, but he watched more than 4 hours of film.
Can I break something down that somebody sent to me and asked me my opinion on it about Kyler? So he had this young lady who was braiding his hair. It was her. She has her own business. So Kyler's with whatever girl he's with. So Kyler comes in, he gets his hair braided. She comes to wherever he is whenever he needs his hair. I don't care if one braid comes loose and it looks crazy. She'll meet him where he is to get it done. So apparently him and his girl she's not totally secure or whatever. So she makes him ask the girl to wear pants whenever she comes to get her hair, whenever she comes to braid his hair. On top of her saying no, he pretty much doesn't explain the situation to what the young lady says. Doesn't explain the situation, and then basically says, hey, don't tell the team about what's going on. My issue with this is what somebody just said. They're basically saying he's too immature to run a team. And I would like to say I agree with it. I brought up the fact that he demanded that they trade for CeeDee Lamb. I get all of the stuff about being a superstar quarterback and wanting your money and wanting good players, but it seems that this guy isn't quite there yet. And I don't know how well this translates because you paid him at the end of the day. Bro, he could watch 30 minutes of film a day and still make your quota. So now we got to start looking at the technicalities of what it actually means to meet what they asked for. that's not really putting any pressure on him. He should be more than happy to do that. I don't think it's a good move by the team either way. Signing him or putting this in his contract. It just doesn't look well on them.
Say it.
All right. When I first read this, it reminded me of Mike Vick, and I got the same feeling with Mike Vick that I got at Kyler Murray. It was disappointing. It was disappointing for the fact that you're the center of the club. You're the guy to make all the adjustments. You're the guy to point out this. You're the guy to point out that. Everybody's taking leadership from you. So if you're out there and you're not making the adjustments, then at the same time you're mad because you may be getting hit, or because there was a few times last year you can see he got really frustrated in some of the games. You have to you as the quarterback have to get in there and do your job. You have to get in there and understand what type of defenses they're running against you. You just can't show up game day and say, okay, I think that's what they're going to do. We're going to do this right here. This is the NFL.
No.
This ain't high school.
Listen, hold on. But listen, that wasn't his struggles, though. And then that wasn't the reason for his struggles. You know what I mean? And I hear what you're saying about Michael Vick and all that. And I think a lot of that just came afterwards as far as the whole Michael Vick situation, because they wasn't talking about that about Michael Vick until he moved on, until he got locked up.
No, he did. When he said it, they did. He said
this was after he came back in the league, though. Yeah, I know. He said it himself.
He said before then, but he said it before then. Before I had to pull the film, but he said it before. He was still in the league at the time when he said it.
No, he said it when he was in Philly, bro. When he went to Philly, because he said Andy Reid has him more in the film. I wish I was more into film early in my career. He said, but Andy Reid had, you know why? Because like I just said, some of these dudes don't know how to watch film. And like I said, they might be Arizona might be looking at it as okay, because look, we went through this with Dwayne Haskins. They got them tablets. They can look on them tablets and see, how long a guy been studying this or studying that, and how long he's not been doing it. So if they looking like, man, Kyler Murray, he barely on this thing, man. And then they going through a loser streak, regardless if the offensive lineman is hurt or your best receiver is hurt or you missing 2 D backs or whatever. Who they gonna blame? Who gets the most blame? The quarterback. And he wants a contract. You know what I mean? He missed minicamp. He missed this and that. So they just like, well, you know what? You got your grievances. We got our grievances too. So let's meet here in the middle. I'm going to protect ourselves. Look, player development, and it should help them out. This is not a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying you are, but I'm saying this is a good thing for Kyler Murray and for Arizona that they forcing him. Basically, hey, you want this money? You need to be watching. You need to be on this tablet for 4 hours a week. You know what I mean? Outside of the facility, this is a good thing. Paulie, we acting like this is a bad thing, but it's a good thing.
I got a yes or no question. Everybody just say yes or no to this question, just off of what we know right now. Can Kyler Murray lead that team to a Super Bowl? Yes or no?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I say no.
It's a no. That's a no to me. And don't get me wrong, Kyler Murray, Roger Smith said yes. Kyler Murray is ultra talented, uber talented, right? But even Brett Favre said that he didn't know what a nickel D-back was until somebody told him, and he was in the season winning Super Bowls before he learned how to study film. We do 3 shows a week, and I'm pretty sure we do more than 4 hours of homework a week to get ready for our show.
We study more than Kyler Murray. That's hilarious.
Listen, man. Listen, like I said, man, it's a good thing. Regardless of it, and you saying he can't leave. I don't know why you don't feel he can't win the team the Super Bowl. He can win. Look, he's a good player. He's an up and coming player. You know what I mean? All this is going to do is refine him as a player. You know what I mean? So look, they made the playoffs last year. They made the playoffs last year in the year where they struggled down the stretch, and then now you're saying that he needs to study more. But you're saying, okay, so that's not just on Kyler Murray neither. That's on the coaches too. That's on the other players too. You know what I mean? That means it's a system problem. That down the stretch, these teams are, you know what I mean? The team is wilting down the stretch. So it's not just on him.
I'll say this too, though, Paulie. We all know early on, they just weren't looking like a good team. They were looking like the best team in football. But there was early and often a lot of times where they couldn't connect. Kyler was not finding receivers. He was overthrowing guys. He was looking confused. He was upset often on the sideline. And I don't know how much of that is because the receivers weren't doing their job or if it's just he wasn't well prepared.
What are you talking about when they went through the slide?
No, I'm talking about early. Even it was times where they were making late charges. They were making charges late in the game.
Bro, see, you expecting somebody to be perfect, man.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I
can say the same thing about every quarterback in the league. There's times he's overthrowing players. They're looking like that. They don't know what's going on.
Perfection. I'm saying there were a lot of times where he was not connecting with receivers. And
I can say that about every quarterback in the league, bro.
Hold on. Did his production slide when D-Hop went down? It did. Yep. It slid a lot.
Of course it's going to slide when D-Hop go down. D-Hop is one of the best receivers in the league. Of course it's going to go down.
For 6 games this year. D-Hop is out the first 6 games of the year.
So what does that mean, Paul?
That means you got to elevate your play, Kyler.
That means that was last year, and this is this year. That's what that means. It's to be determined. You know, they got players. Maybe I don't know. I ain't gonna say in front like I know their roster, but I'm pretty sure they got players that's coming into another year. It's coming into another year at receiver or whatever. I don't know who they picked up at receiver or whatever, but it also means the coaches have a whole offseason to adjust the offense. You know, this is not a player getting hurt, you know, during the game, and all of a sudden he out for 6 weeks or out for the season. They knew about this suspension for months now. You know what I mean? So they have time to adjust the offense or find a player or have another player on the or whatever they're going to do to get this offense moving until Hopkins get back. You know, last year that happened, right? They doing good. They rolling, boom, the man get hurt. And then he starts to slide. I mean, listen, man. I'm not saying
Marquise Brown would be that.
All I'm saying is this clause in his contract is a good thing. And matter of fact, it should be in a lot of players' contracts. Because a lot of these guys live off of just their talent. A lot of these guys go through their whole career just living off talent. A lot of these guys have made the Hall of Fame just living off their talent.
And not studying.
That's all I'm saying, man. It's not a bad thing.
This right here comment is for you, Said. And like I told y'all, man, we got a jam-packed show today. Football's back. We all over the map. What do y'all think about Julio going to Tampa?
Pause. Pause on that move.
Julio signed a 1-year deal with the Tampa Bay.
I don't think it means much.
Oh, Mrs. Grooms like that.
I know you had said, but I don't.
Mrs. Grooms said, say Julio again.
Oh, easy.
No. I don't think it means much. I think Julio's washed, if we're being honest. Can we name one big play that he made in Tennessee last year that really mattered towards a game that was down the wire? That team was still led by the running game, and in the absence of that big boulder that they have, they are. I mean, the coaching is what made the difference. So I don't think he's gonna. I think he's just gonna be another guy at this point.
You know what? He is gonna be another guy, and that's the best thing that can happen to him at this stage of his career. That he's just another guy. He don't have to go out there and get 80, 90 catches. All he needs to get is 40 to 60 catches, if that. You know what I mean? And be effective when it need to be effective. You got Mike Evans. You got Godwin. You know what I mean?
Off a knee injury.
Regardless.
No,
you got Mike Evans.
Listen,
man, we talking about Tom Brady, bro. He elevates the normal average wide receiver. So you think you can't elevate a Hall of Fame wide receiver for 10 plays a game?
We don't know what Tom Brady gonna look like.
Man,
Okay, I know what Tom Brady gonna look like, bro. Tom Brady is gonna look like a capable quarterback. He might not be the A+ guy, no, he might not be top 3 quarterback no more, but I'll take top 10, top 15 Tom Brady.
I don't know if y'all understand what's happening today, but Paulie's in the zone. Paulie is in.
Hey man, this is what I do, bro. Ain't no zone. This is what I do. Man, I'm in the zone every day, man.
Look, Julio.
It's just when Sam talking, it's like I'm in the Twilight Zone.
Julio does not need to be young Julio to control the game. Julio just got to show up late season, playoffs, Super Bowl. That's all. Get his ring, sit down, wait for his gold jacket. Get his ring
down.
Bro, you think
so sick? Listen,
you think that Tom Brady's not trying to go out with a ring?
I know what Tom Brady might be trying to do. That don't mean he's gonna do it. What if what we saw last year is just another?
Hey, come back to it. Let him talk because he over there contradicting himself, anyways. Go ahead.
Hold on, I was looking up something last year.
All right, well, go ahead. I'll talk, dude. Hey,
hold on. You heard your turn. Hold on. My turn. Check it out. Julio going to Tampa. This is what Tampa just did to make their offense a little more potent, even though they lost their tight end, Grunt. They still had Cameron Brake. They took the guy who was pretty much leading the Atlanta Falcons last year at number 1, Russell Gage. So he'll probably slide into Chris Godwin's spot until Chris Godwin comes back fully from the ACL. So now at this point, you got Mike Evans on one side, you got Julio on one side, and you got Russell Gage in the slot. All that did was you can no longer double Chris Evans because every now and then Julio going to catch a bomb, and it's going to make people say, wait a minute, he's back. Even though he may not be back, he's going to catch one bomb.
You're good.
From Tom Brady.
I just got something I want to show y'all once he gets done.
That's going to make everybody back up and look. He's not going to be the almost 2,000 yard receiver that he almost had in Atlanta. No, that's not going to be Julio.
We know that.
If he can stay healthy, this can be one of remember Randy. I mean, you're not compare Randy Moss, but you can see what they're doing. If you just sit and look at it. Mike Evans, Russell Gage, Julio, Cameron Brake. You still got Leonard Fournette. I can say the guy because I'm gonna have to see him twice a year.
Leonard Fournette.
I'm just giving you an example.
Leonard Fournette.
Because
Fournette.
Because my reason saying it is this: at this point, toward the end of the year, they started to double Evans, right? So now, if you have a halfway healthy Julio, you can no longer double Evans. It's going to be single here, man in the slot. That's the running back. The running back no longer has 10 men in the box.
9
men in the box. Really quick. Can I just read you something really quick? Because
go ahead.
Y'all are drinking the juice. 2020 Atlanta Falcons. 9 games, 51 receptions, 771 yards.
What are you talking about, man?
This is Julio Jones.
Julio Jones.
Come on, man. You gotta read those stats off, bro. We know he ain't the same player, man. We know he's not the same player. We nobody drinking no Kool-Aid, man. We asking. All he asked was, are we gonna help out? If you gonna help out, you gotta go read off those stats, man. Nobody wanna hear no numbers.
So
is he gonna help out? Is he not gonna help out?
Last year, 10 games, 31 receptions, 400 yards. My point is this: he's not getting better, fellas. I'm sorry. I get what you're trying to say, but the dude stays in the hot tub now, and it's been like this for a while. Nobody has to hit him or anything. He's got a hamstring. He's got an ankle. He's got a toe. He's got a foot. He's no different than what Antonio would have been if he would have kept playing since he was so hurt last year.
You know who else was like that? Deshaun Jackson. And you know what Andy Reid used to do? He used to put the Ferrari in the shop and bring it out on Sunday.
That was not in that.
He used to put the Ferrari in the shop.
He was in his prime by far at that time. He was still in his prime.
Only thing you ask on Julio to do is listen. Only thing you ask on Julio to do is show up late in the season when it matters and catch a touchdown or first down and call it a day and survive to when they double Mike Evans to beat a one-on-one.
He doesn't play over 10 games.
No, listen, man.
He don't need
listen, man. The whole time, most of the time Julio was in Atlanta, he was in the tub. This ain't what we talk about, bro. The man has got talent still. He still got talent left with him. He's going to a team where he doesn't have to be the main guy. Period. We're not saying is he going to be Pro Bowl Julio Jones. No, he's not going to be Pro Bowl Julio Jones. He's not. But it's a positive thing for him and a positive thing for Tampa Bay that he's going to Tampa. And then you see him talking. You talking like, I'm not an irrational Dallas fan and Well, Tupac said, he's trying to help them get a Super Bowl. That's what they trying to do. I know. Hold on, man. Hold on. You read your stats and all that. Hold on. No, the whole point is we're not talking about us. We ain't talking about Carolina Panthers. If you say Tampa Bay is going and trying to win the Super Bowl, that's a viable statement. We talk about if you talk about Tampa Bay, you talk about New Orleans. I mean, not New Orleans. You talk about the Rams. If you mention these two teams and you say, hey, they trying to win the Super Bowl, that's a viable statement. He didn't say nothing crazy. That's where they brought him. They trying to make a Super Bowl run for Tom Brady. They just went 2 years ago. So you just dismissed that. Okay. I know you're a Cowboy fan. Really, that got nothing to do with it, though. That got everything to do with it. That's what it seems like to me. That's what tell me. So how you gonna I'm gonna tell you because I'm on the outside looking in. So how you gonna tell me that with Toothpick said? How you gonna tell me with Toothpick said about Tampa Bay making a Super Bowl run? How is that crazy? I mean, you said you had like he talked about Chattanooga, Tennessee. Outbacks going to the Super Bowl.
Tell me an NFL team at least. Say an NFL team at least.
But you act like you said something crazy. Hey, listen, man. I don't get up here and I don't defend Toothpick a lot, but I'm gonna defend him right here because what he said was damn smart. Tampa Bay trying to win a Super Bowl. Tom Brady came back to win a Super Bowl, so they're bringing in pieces to win a Super Bowl. And they're not counting on Julio to be a Pro Bowl player. They're just counting on him to give him 50 quality plays. That's it for 17 games.
That's it.
And I absolutely understand what both of you are saying. I'm just saying this.
I'm clipping off.
We're talking about attrition. We're talking about attrition here. Okay, this is the NFL. So we don't know what Godwin's going to look back what he's going to look like when he gets back. We don't know if Julio is going to even be able to give you 50 good plays. It's just too much. It's just too much.
They're not counting. They're not counting. We know what Godwin's going to look like. What are you talking about, man? We know what Godwin's going to look like.
We can say that Tom Brady's going to be a capable quarterback, but seriously, Father Time is still undefeated, bro.
Yeah, okay. Guess what, man? Outside of Tom Brady having a neck injury and no nerves in his neck, I seen a quarterback with a neck injury with no nerves in his neck and no arm take a team to the Super Bowl and win it.
Peyton,
with less players. With less players.
Hey, how many years younger is Julio than Tom Brady?
Come on, Tom Brady, what, 45? He got to be like 10 years younger than him.
Like 35 or something?
Yeah, it got to be like 10 years younger.
But you ain't talking about Tom Brady falling off a cliff, but you talking about Julio falling off a cliff.
No, he just said that.
No,
he just said that.
Say something about Tom Brady.
He just said that.
Okay.
He just said that. He did just say that.
Hall of Fame jacket on. That might have been when I was getting that on. But listen.
Hey, look, I said when we was going over the futures for the division, and I said Panthers at plus 1,000 was a good pick. I said that. I said the quarterback position. I said about Matt Ryan too. I said the quarterback position is like playing cornerback in the NFL. When them dudes fall off the cliff, they fall off the cliff. You just never know when it's going to be. I said that. I'm not denying that. But at the end of the day, we still talking about Tom Brady. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. This dude elevates players.
Yeah,
he elevates teams.
Paulie Hawk TV checked in and Rockman checked in. Also, thank you, man. Thank you. But Hawk, you've been at the barbecue too long, bro. You've been late. We told you not to be late.
Harlem Shake Hawk, what up, man? We give him a pass, bro. You know, it's summertime. He joined the summertime. He getting around. He getting in training camp for him, getting ready for the season. You good, bro?
Hey,
we just messing with you, man. Harlem Shake Hawk.
It's real hard to lead a barbecue.
He said, dude is lunching, talk about Julio has nothing left.
I never said that.
That'd be at you, Aaron. You pretty much have said that. Okay. And he said, Tampa bound. Julio's number 3. Curtain call. Yeah, it's your boy, LOL. That's what he said. Hey, man, Julio's going to do his thing. Hey, let's get into our last position for the Commanders. And actually, it's not our last position. We have 3 other people to talk about. They sort of work together. The last 3 that we got to talk about. Cheeseman, Tressway, and Joey Slye.
Man, we ain't got to talk about them, man. Right. Really. We know Tressway's been our MVP most of the time. He's been with us. And Cheeseman was a rookie last year. Just keep the ball off turf. You know what I mean? And Joey Slye, I like what he brought to us last year. Just don't try to chase down cornerbacks, man. You're a little short, pudgy, muscle-built guy. You're going to pull hamstrings.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Now we good. So that's the end of that discussion.
Well, let's get to the big board then. Let's bring the big guys in. Whoa, stop pushing me. And you know who these 2 guys are. You saw them on the sideline.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
All right. Our defensive tackles, as we've been doing here recently, we've been putting them up from rookies all the way to vets. So Fadarian Mathis, he's the rookie. Everybody say he was the Deron Payne replacement, but I got a little something to say about that here in a minute. And then we got David Bubba, Tyler Clark, Deron Payne, Justin Hamilton, and John Allen. John Allen is the statement in this room right here with a total number of 6 years in the league. 6 years in the league is the senior man in the defensive tackle room. We don't got to spend too much time on everybody, but how do y'all feel about this and how many defensive linemen make the squad? Let me know.
I think this is an area that you guys get right, period. Whether it's defensive tackle, defensive end, y'all have been a force to be reckoned with for 10 plus. I mean, it's just been a long time coming. I can't necessarily speak to how many guys you're going to keep, but looking at the film on some of these guys, even the rookies, or even the guys that's got like 1 or 2 years, like David Bada, it was another guy that I saw. I mean, these guys are just good. I don't know if y'all remember a few, it was like quite a few years ago. It's the same way that Houston couldn't miss on like linebackers for a long time. So I'm going to lean heavily on you guys on this one, but I know for sure, we know Deron Payne and what he brings and, the contract talks and all of that. But as far as like a guy like a David Bada, I mean, he looks good on film to me. I don't know. I don't know about a lot of these guys though, but those 2 guys in particular, I'm interested to see what y'all have to say about them.
Justin Hamilton is the other one with 6 years in the league.
Yes, sir.
All right, look, man, we get quick run. Jonathan Allen, look, breakout year. You say what you want. Anybody can say what they want to say about his previous years. Little injury play, but solid play. He had a breakout year last year. In year 5. You said it's year 6. Let's see if he can pull a Steph Curry and take it to an all-pro level this year in year 6. And I say that because it took Steph Curry 4 or 5 years before he became Chef Curry. You know what I mean? So let's see if he can take another step forward in year 2 of that contract. All right, Deron Payne playing for a contract. You know what I mean? So he should be ready to go. He's playing for a contract here or somewhere else. Don't matter. He's playing for a contract. Mathis, he's a rookie. I don't know what too much to say about him until you get him on the field. You know what I mean? Like I said, I can't count on a rookie until he start putting them hours in there and he show you he actually can play. I don't care what he did at Georgia or what he did in high school. None of that matters. It's the NFL now. You know, like you said about David Bada, he showed flashes here and there, but we don't know if he could be consistent because at the time he was just coming in for injured player or spelling Ionitis and Settles, two guys they didn't bring back from last year. So, and then also you got to think of this too. They deep at the defensive end position, and two of the defensive end is James Smith-Williams and I can't think. And Casey Toohill. These guys are big dudes who also play tackle. You know what I mean? So the last spots of defensive tackles might come down to a numbers game. You know, if they want to keep 5 running backs instead of 4, if they want to keep 7 wide receivers instead of 6, you know what I mean? That extra player is going to come from somewhere. So when you got players like on defensive ends, where you got a couple of defensive ends that also can play tackle, that leaves one of your true tackles maybe on the outside looking in. Yeah, so this is going to depend on how the preseason goes.
Question, Paulie, question. Do you think, since Washington has not paid Daron Payne, they're waiting to training camp to see what one of the other guys can do?
Ooh, good question, Paulie. Let me jump in here real fast.
Hold on, bro. He asked me to do what?
I mean, just to see how they perform before they decide they want to pay. That's what I mean.
No, I mean, I think right now at this point they don't want to pay him, but I think that's a mistake. Like, at least sit down and go to the table and see where the number is at right now. You know what I mean? Because this guy come out and have a monster season, or if he just have a good, adequate season, you might can get him at a good price. He might don't want to go nowhere. You know what I mean? I think they're just thinking off of they feeling like they got other players that's going to come up, and they just signed some players also that they feel like, oh, well, we're not going to be able to sign all 4 of these first-round picks, which I think they actually can. But I think it needs to be a conversation. I don't know if it has or hasn't, but from what I've been reading and all the reports, it doesn't seem like there's like, you know, a negotiation going on at this point. It seems more like they just telling him, hey, we'll take care of this at the end of the season, which I think is a mistake. So,
but what about this one, Paulie? What about this one? We got a defensive end that hasn't had a big year in 2 years in a row, right? He's another first round pick. I'm talking about
Sweat.
Could if Daron Payne continues to play the way he played, could we wind up signing Daron Payne and letting Sweat walk? Nobody's looking at that one.
No, I don't think so, because I look at Sweat last year, man. Come on, that was almost like a fluke of a year. He got hurt, COVID. Then it broke his jaw. Brother passed away.
Fact.
And when he was playing, yeah, he didn't continue the year he had the year before that, but he wasn't trash either.
No,
let me finish. And he was. I'm not saying he was. I'm saying he wasn't trash. It wasn't that far of a fall off. You know what I mean? And when he came back before his brother passed away, you see the impact he had immediately in that Philadelphia game. Immediately he was getting pressure. Immediately he had a sack, strip, fumble. You know what I mean? So I think Montez is a true defensive end, and I think if anybody, they're talking about Chase Young should be on the 20 sacks and 14 forced fumbles. No, I think Montez Sweat is that player.
But
so I think No, he has been. But look, his first year, come on, bro. His first year, they had him dropping back way too much. Way too much. They had the numbers on. I believe it was like, 60% of the plays they had him dropping back. Then you see in his second year, Jack Dever, your first year, you see that's when he took off. And then last year, you know, like I said, I think that was just a fluke of a season for him. So I wouldn't say that he hasn't been. I said I think that since he's been where he's supposed to be, you see him getting better. You saw him coming into this season with a different focus. I just think things happen to him. But I think he's going to have a monster year this year. And another thing, like Flash was saying earlier about the defensive tackles, how we get in the position right, I think defensive tackle is one of the positions that they do feel like, hey, we could get rid of Daron Payne and we could find a guy from Southern Methodist University and plug him in there and get the things we want to get out of him. You don't find that. It's hard to find pass rushing defensive ends like that. You don't find them off the scrap. You don't find them off the scrap heap too much.
You got the chat agreeing with you, Paulie, and I'm with you, but I'm just saying the Commanders are in a good position to have 2 people fighting for a contract, and they haven't made allegiance to either one of them. Now, I see Teddy E over here. He's saying you
Well,
don't
Sweat got another year.
over.
Remember, Sweat came after Payne.
And he got the
So
5th year
Sweat,
option.
yeah. So Sweat got. No, but I'm saying is Sweat came during this off season is when you start seeing these decisions on Sweat. That's what I'm saying. He's set up for that monster year. He ain't dumb. He know.
He does know.
Hey,
I don't know. I feel like when you look at this team in particular, y'all have a particular skill set in this area that would allow me to say I would trust the moves that they make. But in general, I don't agree with what Teddy said. I believe that tell that to a team that just can't stop the run, that's soft up the middle in the playoffs. When we talking about, I would take a DN over a D tackle.
Oh, and we're gonna find out
Cowboys,
and we're gonna find out this year
tissue paper soft on the run up the middle.
We're gonna find out this year.
Okay, hold on. But the whole thing is, bro, you kind of contradicting yourself because you said this coaching staff seems to have an eye. You was talking about Bada. Where the hell did Bada come from?
That's what I said. I said
where did Bada come from?
I said with the exceptions of y'all.
Well, even on any team, I'm gonna tell you what. If you had a chance to get a premier pass rusher or a premier defensive tackle, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna take that pass rusher. You're gonna take Khalil Mack over Warren Sapp.
No.
Yeah,
that's not true.
No. In a draft, you're gonna take Khalil Mack over Warren Sapp. That is true. You got a premier defensive end, you got a premier defensive end.
I think it's way more.
Bro, it's proven.
Hold on, let me say this. I think it's way less Haloti Ngata's. I think it's way less Warren Sapp's. I think it's way less Aaron Donald's in the world than it is Montez Sweat's. So it's not hard to find a guy to that caliber, but to find a guy who's going to be an anchor in the middle that can sometimes also play the outside and play a little DN and get pressure up the middle, stop the run. It's not easy to find those guys.
But to this point, Deron Payne hasn't been Aaron Donald or Haloti Ngata or any of them guys that you naming.
But Deron Payne has been doing a lot of unsung hero stuff.
Yes.
Where he don't.
But my point is, you can find them players that do unsung hero stuff. We had players like this before.
From what you were saying earlier, though, it seemed like you were kind of leaning towards I'd rather roll with the guys who I know are proven to do a thing versus what I'm leaning towards is if you asking me who would I rather keep, knowing that they're going to get rid of one of two players, either Deron Payne or Montez Sweat. I would want to keep Sweat over Deron Payne because I could find me a defensive tackle to do dirty work and do the things he do. It's hard to find a defensive end that's going to go out there and create havoc and be a monster out there on that field. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said this staff is different. I would trust him. And I seen Montez Sweat show flashes against plenty of teams where he's just popping up on film constantly. So
at 2020, he was a Cowboy killer. Both games.
Absolutely. I hate that guy.
Now, and that ain't taking nothing for Deron Payne. I'm one of Deron Payne's biggest fans. I want to see him go out there and have a monster year and get his money. You know what I mean? I think he got it in him. I mean, for real, up until last year, he outplayed Jonathan Allen. Up until last year, he outplayed Jonathan Allen. And he started out last year on fire. Man, at least the first 4 or 5 games, man, this dude was getting held so much, it was a damn shame. I was kicking the TV and cursing and yelling at toothpick and cord.
I remember all of it.
Hey, question for all of the DNs, Pick.
Yeah.
Can we start with Chase? Because I got a question.
Go.
Is he overrated?
No, young player.
So he's overrated.
Young player who coaches have not told him that your S stinks. This is one of those dudes you got to sit down and tell him what you really think of him to his face and let him know that he's not the greatest player since sliced bread. And
I gotta disagree with that.
Make him work. Okay. He hasn't worked.
Yeah, I want to get into it because I
gotta disagree with that.
Number one, hold on, Paulie, because let me just say this.
Go ahead.
From an outsider's perspective, I think he has potential to be one of them ones. And I think sometimes you need a kid who is stupid enough to believe we could do anything. So when you look at him going against like a Tom Brady in that playoff game even, and him saying what he said, I love that they can stand on that. Because sometimes that stuff can permeate. You know, when we talk about sports, man, it's got a lot more to do what's up here in the belief that you can go do something versus what you actually do on the field. And I believe he's got that it factor. But that's just me being the outsider, so I'll let you guys go.
Now, what I'm saying to you is this. I believe Chase has all the talent in the world to go out and set the world on fire and be the number one defensive end in the league. But what I'm saying is he hasn't worked. Paulie, remember we had Sabah on last year. And Sabah, we found out that Sabah don't like Chase because he is lazy. He don't work on his craft.
Man, she don't like Chase. She don't like Chase because he was having a down year. Because the year before that, she was loving Chase. And every year she picked somebody to hate on. That's all. I can't go with nobody with Sabah and her opinion and all that. Look, I'm gonna say this about Chase. Is he overrated? Yeah, he overrated. You know why he's overrated? Because he had high expectations placed on him for a player who hadn't played in the league yet. Then he had a good rookie season. He didn't have a great, fantastic, best rookie season ever. He had a good rookie season, you know. And then we placed all his expectations on him coming into the next year. Now you said that nobody ain't telling him his shit don't stink. That's a lie, because Ron couldn't keep his name out of his mouth the whole first 6 games of the season until he got hurt.
Yeah,
Every year in the press conference, Ron was criticizing him all the time. You know what I mean? So
at that same token, he wouldn't even move Landon Collins, the linebacker. He kept calling him.
Yeah. But we're talking about Chase, right? We're talking about Chase right now. So really, the people who need to temper their expectations is the fan base and the media. Let the man get to the point where he consistent at doing what he's doing. See, the problem is we need a quarterback so bad, and Justin Herbert came out the gates like gangbusters. You know what I mean? And everybody would say, well, we should have drafted Justin Herbert. We should have drafted Jones. That's hindsight. You know what I mean? As Steve Spurrier say, that's hindsight 50-50. You know what I mean?
Hindsight,
you know what I mean? So that's really what it is. It's all this pressure and it's being put on him from the fan base and from the media because Justin Herbert went after him and he came out like gangbusters, you know, and this guy, he's cocky, he's bravado, he's brash, and I love it. I love that in the player. Be self-confident. You know what I mean? I have no problem with that. You know what I mean? But also the coaching staff got to take some blame on this too. Because like I've been saying for a year now, you ain't seen this dude. Go look back at Ohio State. I know you've seen plenty of them at Ohio State.
Exactly.
Did you ever see him standing up, rushing the quarterback?
His hand
was always in the dirt.
In the dirt.
All his highlights. His hands in the dirt. Put him in the dirt. Tell him go get the quarterback.
That's all you got to do. Make it simple.
Period. Keep it simple with him. And same thing with Montez Sweat. And that's why I said the coaching staff got to look themselves in the mirror too and say, well, we're doing the best job to put these dudes in a position to be successful. And I say no. So yeah, it's on Sweat, it's on Chase Young. You know what I mean? But to me, it's a 50-50 deal.
Yeah.
And fellas, that's why I keep referring back to it's a lot of problems with the coaching staff and it's a lot of problems with the scheme. Because why can you easily see this and they can't? Stop trying to be creative. It's like getting a Lamborghini and seeing if you can drift it. No, nigga, just drive it fast in a straight line.
Ego. It's all ego, man.
Oh my God.
If you can't get your coach to stay off Twitter. Bruh. If you can't get your coach to stay off Twitter until it becomes a national headline, what his remarks is on Twitter, then you got a problem. And that's what's been going on. Look, man, they said it themselves. We talked about it when Doc was on the show. Like, come on, man. Jack Del Rio came out himself and said, well, you know, Montez and Chase, they make up their mind of who wants to be on the left side or who wants to be on the right side.
Exactly.
Like, what are you talking about, man?
They
What are you
decide that
talking
amongst
about?
themselves. They decide that amongst themselves. So you can't tell me that they are demanding the most out of these players.
And you know why they doing that? Because they searching for something. They searching for something that is not there from the previous year. Because the previous year you didn't see that. 2020, you didn't see them guys standing up. You didn't see them guys switching side. You knew Montez was going to be on the right side and Chase was going to be on the left side.
Yeah.
And that's what we seen.
Or,
you know what I mean?
One thing that they did do, they would put both of them towards the end of the year. They put both of them on the same side a couple of times.
But that's when they had Kerrigan that year too.
Hey,
you see what I'm saying?
You said that, and look at what pops up. Talking about Ryan Kerrigan. They had Kerrigan. They put both of them on the same side, and then they brought Ryan Kerrigan, and I think they kept Deron Payne in the game, and it was 3 defensive ends on the line. Now, I do have a question for y'all.
Hold on. Let me finish that. See, and what you just said, they was running some gimmick stuff. But you know why that gimmick stuff was successful? Because they had the fundamental stuff down pat. They started out fundamentally sound. And what they come out and do this past year, they started out with the gimmick stuff off the bat, the 5-2. And all this because they was trying to put they were trying to put all 3 tackles, Ioannidis, Payne, and Allen. They was trying to get these 3 guys on the field at the same time. So they was doing all this gimmick stuff first, where you gotta always start out at step 1. And step 1 is called fundamentals. Period.
Always.
Well, and to Buckeye Nation's comment, rightfully so. At the end of the day, we still pay the players to go out there and execute. So yes, we're gonna look at the players if they're not winning, but that's also kind of fair weather advantage, because people who really watch football, know football, understand that certain players are only good in the box. Certain players are only good at doing certain things, and if you're not gonna pay attention to that, and when we're talking about the Commanders, then that's where we're gonna. I've not heard a guy that's came on this show as a guest or that is a Washington Commanders fan that hasn't said these guys suck at scheming. They put guys out of position. They don't use these guys to the best of their ability, even if they paying them top dollar. That's the problem.
Hey, my thing is, if they wanted a hybrid defensive end linebacker, they should have traded back in the draft, picked some picks, and drafted that player. Not drafting a damn defensive end, and now because he's athletic, he might be athletic for a defensive end, but that doesn't make him athletic for a linebacker. Period.
Daniel Wise is listed as a DN on the roster. Roger, Daniel Wise is listed as a DN on the roster. I see what you're saying though. Now, he's saying Daniel Wise is a defensive tackle, but they got him listed as a DN on the roster, and we've been noticing these mistakes throughout their roster, and I just put it up the way Washington has it. I want to talk about Shaka Toney.
My guy.
Shaka Toney, Will Bradley the King, my dude, William Bradley the King, Casey.
You don't know William Bradley the King.
You don't know the King. Casey Hill. These guys got time last year when Sweat and Young were out. So as far as them this year, I expect to see some big things happen from them, which means which one of them can play defensive end and defensive tackle. And when we get that NASCAR package ready. Yeah.
And two pick.
Yeah.
And when Casey Hill was playing that left defensive end and James William Smith was playing that right defensive end, what happened?
They had their hand in the dirt.
Now all of a sudden the defense started getting pressure. The defense of the line started picking up. Why? Because they was doing the fundamental stuff. They wasn't asking these guys to stand up in the 2-point stands and rushing the passer and having pass responsibilities and doing all this other stuff. Occasionally they had one guy maybe dropping back or whatever, but they was for the most part they was hands in the dirt, and they told them protect the outside. Don't let nothing get on the outside of you, and go get the quarterback. And it's amazing how all of a sudden the defense started getting better.
Because they was playing within the scheme.
Because they was not even playing with the scheme. They was playing within themselves in the position that they were supposed to be playing as defensive ends.
Oh,
not
my bad.
hybrid linebackers.
It goes back to what Ant said. Then I mean, the problem is the scheming of the head coaches.
I said that.
It's
Yeah.
as simple as
But
that.
I've been saying that for a year on this damn
Yeah.
show. And
You know
on
what I'm
every
saying?
show,
I mean,
on
that's-
every
I mean-
radio station, and everybody I talk to, or anybody, I've been saying this, man. Put the
Hey.
man hands in the dirt and tell him go get the quarterback.
Hey,
Then that's when you're gonna see the best potential out of both of these defensive ends.
John Graves, the coaches can't identify what works and build on it. Chase used his hands to make a sack on Cam in the preseason, and we never saw that move again. Did the coaches make him stop? Of course, the coaches didn't make him stop. Chase decided to stop. The coaches
Hey, man,
don't technique, man. Come on, man. Don't
ever in your life use something you've seen in preseason as an example to make your point.
Hey,
We don't know who that tackle was.
It worked in Osaka. It worked
Exactly. You see what happened on Osaka. You see what happened when the season started. Don't ever use anything in preseason as an example to make a point.
Hey,
That's like apples to oranges, man.
we've been on here for an hour and 30, and we appreciate each and every one of y'all for hanging in there with us. But after football season kicks off and gets going pretty good, then we move on to basketball season. And we got 3 different sports fans on here when it comes to basketball. And there's one player in the league that could possibly wind up on any one of these teams. Spider Mitchell. Spider Mitchell has been rumored to the Atlanta Hawks, the New York Knicks, and the Washington Wizards. And what's your basketball team?
The Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah. Spider. He ain't been rumored to go there. He's not been rumored to go to the Mavericks. But anyway, what would it look like with Spider Mitchell on the court alongside Bradley Beal, Trae Young, and Paulie? What's your backcourt mate? What backcourt mate would he have up there in New York?
Talking about Brunson?
Yeah.
Listen, man. I don't play that fantasy stuff. You know what I mean? At this point, we come to him and KD and all that until they really start talking draft picks and players and stuff. I mean, you know, they can go to 31 other teams in the league, man. I mean, as far as him coming to the Knicks, I would love to have him there. Like I said, we got the ammunition to get him there, you know, and then from there we can move forward. But the key with these players is you want to try not to disrupt your roster as much as possible. You know what I mean? I mean, because for a lot of these teams, they have to give up key players. Like they talked yesterday, reports was Boston and Brooklyn was talking about the KD deal, but they talking about giving up Jaylen Brown, and I'm thinking like,
that's the same.
KD is a better player. Yeah, that's only because KD's older than him right now. But if you go back to the playoff series, which Boston won, you know what I mean? Jaylen Brown.
You're right.
But what I'm saying is though, Jaylen Brown was their best player in the playoffs last year. Tatum is Tatum, but even in the finals, Tatum was a turnover machine, and he was inconsistent. Jaylen Brown was their most consistent player last year in the playoffs.
Yep.
So I understand that, but is that going to make them? Is that going to put them over the hump right now?
I think,
you know
yes.
What I mean?
I'll say yes, and I'll tell you why. The one thing that we know for sure is that Jaylen Brown had the possibility to be the MVP if they won, but he was highly inconsistent. Now, he had better games, like you said. Jason was a turnover machine, but we didn't know if we really, and that was his problem going even into this year, is you just never knew what Jaylen you were going to get. Now, the question becomes, did they make the wrong guy the number one player?
Because what you talking about in Boston?
Yeah.
No, see, when you got two guys like that, it's not making the wrong guy number one or number two, unless you got a guy who's just top 2 player in the league. You know what I mean? Come on, man. We had Steph and KD on the same team. You know what I mean? We never said who's number 1 or number 2. It's like who's carrying the team tonight? Who's going to do their thing?
You're right, Paulie, and that's my point.
No, you're right. Because that's been their problem. Like they haven't really learned how to play well together. Like one night, Jalen will have 30, 35, and Tatum will have 22. They haven't learned how to put 30 and 35 together.
So this is my question. If you take Jalen off that team and you insert KD, who becomes number one?
KD.
Oh, KD by default.
Right.
Tatum,
so this is my point. So this is my point.
Good point. Good. You make it a good point. You make it a good point.
So
Go ahead, keep going with it.
There, you have
keep going with it.
Number one, you have a guy who can score, who can lightweight defend. I'm not saying he's terrible at it. He's not all world either. He can lightweight defend. And then it's not so much pressure on Jason, because I think a part of that problem was he's young, he's capable.
He was feeling the pressure of
not just yet.
He was feeling the pressure of trying to be number one.
Exactly. So
I got you. Good point. Good point. Good point.
Immediately.
Good point.
Problem because
but
you got a guy who can give you 20 or 25 or 30 when KD is giving you 20, 25, 32.
Let me say this to counter that, because that was a damn good point, Ant. That was a good point. That was a good point, bro.
Yeah, let's do it.
See, and I thought about that, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna say the way I was thinking is like, how long are you gonna get that for? Because at some point, Tatum should round out to be consistent enough to be that de facto number one option. And you're already, they've been playing together for 5 years now, Brown and Tatum. So do you want to disrupt that now for maybe just 1 or 2 years? Because come on, like you said, Father Time is undefeated, and we talking about basketball. I know these guys can play. You know, LeBron is LeBron though. You can't compare nobody else to LeBron. How long are you going to get that from KD? Is it worth having 3 years of KD like that and sacrificing having 5, 6, 7 more years of Jaylen Brown? That's all I'm saying. I don't know. They built this team together.
Okay, hold on. I got a question. I got a follow-up question.
Hold on. In 3 years, the question: if you had 3 years of Tatum and Durant, would you be looking at 2 out of 3 championship years?
That's where I was going.
Oh yeah, would you be looking at
2 championships out the deal? Is it worth it?
Hey, don't forget they traded for Malcolm Brogdon too.
Right. Okay.
From Indiana.
So don't forget the pressure off of him. So now he gets to defend and play around the bucket.
Hey man, hey, you know what? That might be a good deal then. Yeah, hey man, hey, you might have convinced me, Flash, and that's hard to do. You might Ant. You might have convinced me, Ant, and that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah,
you might have convinced me on that one.
Out of 3 years, hey, that means, and you know they're gonna have to go through Memphis. They got to go through Golden State. One of those teams to do it. That solidifies KD as being a bus driver.
They gotta go through the East though first.
Well, no, they got to make it through the East first before they get to the West.
But let's be honest though, if we're looking at the East,
it makes them the number one. It makes them the number one seed, and they are defending champions.
It's a player of the year.
Yeah, and they're the defending conference champions.
Right,
and they got the most solidified bench in the East.
No, they're the number one team in the East already. Already they're the defending champions, so they already the number one seed. When it comes to Spider Mitchell, though, the whole thing about Spider Mitchell is, and I didn't know this until a couple of weeks ago when I started really looking at it. Danny Ainge is running Utah, and he got the same formula for Utah that he had for Boston. So. That's why I said I think the Knicks would be in the driver's seat if a deal was to be made, because we have the assets that Danny Ainge is that his philosophy is looking for.
Shout out Ref the District for dropping in on us, man. We appreciate y'all, man.
What up, Stoner?
Changing stance, hell just froze over.
But listen, when we talk about Spider, right? I remember I said this a while ago. My thought process with him is the same as Jimmy Butler. They are solid, solidified number 2 guys.
Now we disagree with that one.
Let me tell you.
Hold on. I'm just saying I disagree with that one. I'm gonna go.
I understand, but he's undersized for his position. He plays bigger than what he is.
Yeah, he do play big.
He plays big though. If you put him, and you can't put him beside Bradley Beal. Because that's just not.
Yes, you can. Because Brad is not a point guard.
True,
but he's not a point guard.
But
Put
who?
the
He's
ball
not a point guard.
Put the
So
ball in
hold on.
Spider hands more.
So this is my question. Are you trying to score 130 every night, and that's your hopes of beating the upper
Yo, that's the
echelon?
league. The whole league want to score 130 every night.
Absolutely, but we know when it matters, though, we got teams like the Golden States of the world, the Brooklyns of the world. I mean, not the Brooklyns, the Bostons of the world. That when you need to get a stop, you're going to get one. If you put those two guys on a team, that is not going to be the case.
No,
I'm
let me
not
say.
saying that they're not going to score, but I'm saying that's
No.
a liability.
He's not a liability. Come on, look at Steph Curry, man. Look at Steph Curry. Look at AI. I mean, come on, man.
But they had great
No,
teams around
you say he undersized. Yo, this dude, look at my man Jamal Murray in Denver. No, yo, this dude, he is nothing about Spider Mitchell is a solid number 2. This guy is a leader. He's a solid number 1 on any team he goes to. Outside if he goes to a superpower team. But any normal team, he goes to the Knicks, he's going to be the number 1 player. He goes to the Heat, he'll be the number 1 player over Jimmy Butler. Butler's a 2.
You on that.
Butler's a 2. Butler will give you 30 and 40 points when you need for him to give you 30 and 40 points.
In a game.
Spider Mitchell get it on. Spider Mitchell get 30 points on a game-to-game basis. Come on, man. That boy put the ball in the hole.
I got my hand on my laptop because I want to go before the audience and the jury and say he didn't agree with me when I said that last time when I said Butler was a number 2. You know what I'm saying? So
No.
All those in favor say aye.
No, what I'm saying is, no. I didn't say I didn't agree with you. No, the point I was saying is don't disrespect him like he wasn't a leader. He's a leader of that team.
Hey, Paulie,
he's the number 1. He's a number 1 guy, but he's definitely
number 1 potential.
This is my point. He's definitely a number 2. My point is he could play a number 2 role with no problem. He did it when he was in Chicago.
So this is my point, though. When you look at Utah, right? You got Spider, you got Gobert, you got all these.
Gobert gone. They
hold on. No. I'm talking about before the trade.
Okay.
When they were number 1 seed. Why, if he's that solidified guy, why did he come up missing so many times in key moments in the playoffs? That's what you got to tell me.
Who?
Spider.
Tomorrow, what, this year?
No. I'm talking about in recent years where
playoff basketball.
He's the number 1 guy. He came up short a lot of the times.
Playoff basketball is different than regular.
Hold on. When did he come up short?
No,
because the last year he was hurt, wasn't he? He was hurt most of the end of the season last year. Then did you forget about the bubble year? This dude was a monster in the playoffs in the bubble year. And then the last year he was hurt. He was coming off injury.
So who did they play?
Give me a second. I'm on it right now. Listen, but you got to understand.
No. They played Denver.
But you got to understand that playoff.
And Denver played who?
Playoff basketball is different than regular season basketball because now we get to focus on one opponent and what they do best and take that away.
Absolutely. And so if he's the number 1 guy, what does that mean?
Listen,
when you face 3 different teams in a week, you don't have time to do what they do during the playoffs.
No, listen, when you're the number 1 guy, it's hard. Yo, look what happened to KD against Milwaukee. You could go and score all the points you want to score, do da. If you ain't got no help, it doesn't matter. At some point, you will get wore down. And that's what happened with KD. Look at this year. Look at KD this year. And against the Celtics.
Hey, Paulie,
come on, man.
Go back to that year. If you're gonna go back to that year, you're only proving my point because we're talking about this much right here from them going to the finals with just KD against the MVP of the league. It was a matter of inches in that 3-pointer pause that he actually did. So I'm just saying, we've not seen him rise above and say, you know what, it doesn't matter if the other players on the team are doing it. I'm going to put the team on my back. We haven't seen that in the playoffs, and that's where it matters.
We haven't seen that. Well, we haven't seen that from who?
From in the playoffs from Spider.
We have seen that in the playoffs from Spider.
Hey, you know what? Young Ant, who did they lose to in the playoffs?
I don't know.
Dallas.
I ain't no Jazz fan.
Dallas.
What, you talking about last year?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, Dallas, of course.
They lost to Dallas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they ran up against a hot who?
Okay.
Brunson.
Okay.
Listen, man. Listen,
on,
man.
now.
The dude.
What about
Listen,
the year
man.
before that?
The dude. Listen, man. Listen. Point
They
blank
losing
simple,
the
man.
first round when they had
Hold on. Listen, man. Point simple. The dude is a number one player. He has number one player talent. He has number one player. Everything about him screams number one player. That's just like Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is the number one player on Minnesota. Either way you want to look at it, he has number one player talent. You know what I mean? And when he goes as they go.
I think
You know
he
what
has
I mean?
number one player talent.
I mean, they go as he goes. If Anthony Edwards doesn't play well, Minnesota has no chance. You know what I mean?
I agree with you
If
partially
Spotty
on
Mitchell
that.
don't play well, he has no chance. But when you come to playoff is the one sport. NBA playoffs is the one sport where you need all your big name players to be playing at a high level, not just one, unless your name is Michael Jordan.
Hey, so let me ask you this.
Wait. Give me this.
Oh, go ahead.
Give me 1 second. Here's Luka's stat line, and here goes Spider Mitchell's stat line. In the closeout game, Luka 24 points, 8 for 21, 4 for 4 from the free throw line. Spider Mitchell 23 points, 9 of 17, 3 for 4 from the free throw line. Don't tell me that dude ain't a baller. He's a baller, bro.
That's not major numbers from either one of those guys.
I'm just telling you, man. In a closeout game, my man battled. Let me tell you
this. Okay, let me tell you this. Let me ask you this. Where was he at when Luka was out hurt? Please tell me.
2 victories.
Come on.
They didn't get swept. They didn't get swept.
What?
They
battled. Hold on. Do you got the series up? I got
it pulled up right now.
Who won game 1?
Game 1 went to Dallas.
Okay. And that was at where was that at? Hold on, where was that at?
In Dallas.
Okay. Game 2
went to the Jazz.
Game 3?
It was 2-2-1-1-1.
Yeah. It went to Dallas.
I'm just saying, man, like I get it, but if you're the number one guy and Luka's not on that floor, okay, let me ask you this. If Luka doesn't play, I'm gonna just ask this one thing. If Luka doesn't play, what are the Dallas Mavericks in reality? A lottery team. And I get Jalen had a great playoff.
No, this what you don't get. This is what you don't get. Like I've been telling you, the boy was hurt at the end of the season. Even in the playoffs, he was playing on an injured ankle. Dude was hurt.
Okay, you were talking about.
He wasn't at 100%.
I didn't know you were talking about this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was pulling up games from this year. We talking about Dallas and Utah series. He was hurt this year. Yo, point blank simple. The man is a number one player in the league, bro. He's not the best player in the league. I'm saying he's a number one on any team he goes on. He's a number one player.
Say it. Spider Mitchell, you got the final word on this, and then we're going to move on.
I mean, the guy had good games and bad games. I was looking at some of the stats. I think.
Hey, man, hold on. We don't need set opinion, man.
In one of the games, he put up like 34 points.
He got Trae Young and DeJounte Murray. I want to see him over here gloating.
What the guy can do. I mean, if he wants to come, Atlanta already done got one player from the Spurs.
I'm going.
They sign a couple.
DeJounte Murray.
So they're trying to build something a little special out there. That way he can take some of the pressure off of Trae Young. So I mean, him coming to Atlanta, hey.
Hey, what I say, Sid? Hey, Sid, what I say? Hey, Sid, what I say when y'all got DeJounte Murray? I see, you got to look at Atlanta, man. Look what Atlanta's doing. They're not building around Trae Young. They're building with Trae Young.
Yeah,
they got rid of guys who disappeared in the playoffs.
Atlanta doing it the right way, bro.
Yeah, they are.
That's what you're supposed to do when you got a player, and you see Trae Young's the number one player. He's number one player.
Say again.
Was Trae hurt last year?
Oh, he wasn't hurt.
Okay.
They just doubled him and made him give up the ball.
Oh, what I'm saying. They don't have who they play. Who was they playing last year? Who they lose to? And I said that they didn't have enough firepower.
Well, they were like the 9th seed. No,
I'm talking about in the playoffs. Who they lose to in the playoffs? Because I remember when I was picking against them.
Philly?
Was it Miami? No, Miami.
It was Miami.
I said they didn't have enough firepower for Miami. You know what I mean? You know why? Because teams caught up to what they want to do. They want to shoot the three, and they want to play defense. They want to They want to protect the rim with Capella. You know what I mean? And they got a bunch of other guys who can hit spot up jumpers. But they didn't have nobody who could make their own, take it to the hole off the dribble, make their own offense. Now you insert DeJounte Murray.
Yeah,
come on, man.
Now.
You got a problem, bro. Hey, I ain't got nothing but respect coming into this NBA season for Atlanta, man.
I'm ready.
Hey, man, we appreciate each and every one of y'all for sticking with us. We got our last little thing here. And this one right here is we're gonna tug on your heartstrings a little bit. John Mechie, wide receiver, first year in the league, going to Houston. My man hurt himself last year when he was playing with Bama. This is the straw that stirred the drink for Alabama, John Mechie. So he's hurt. He still gets drafted by Houston, and then he's diagnosed with cancer. The good news is that the form of cancer that he's been diagnosed with is curable. So we on First String Podcast are going to wish this young man nothing but health, a speedy recovery, and wish him nothing but great success in the future so that he can recover and move on from this and have a successful NFL career, man. But focus on getting healthy, and we look forward to seeing you out on the field in the future. But all joking aside and everything like that, we all love to have fun and talk sports. Send some prayers up for Mechie, man. Let's hope this young man gets better. Anybody?
Yeah, I mean, watching the guy play at Bama, throughout the SEC time, him tearing his ACL in the SEC championship game, which again is kind of ironic, because him coming back from the injury was probably one reason they figured out something was wrong. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like he wasn't healing properly, so they went in and figured out why he wasn't healing properly, and that's what they came up with. That's just like the young man that came from Ohio State that went to Georgia that got hurt, and he didn't know why his balance was off, and they brought him in and found out he had the aneurysm in his head and had the surgery. So it's just sometimes it's just it's crazy how this works, but it's a good thing that they found it. They found out what's wrong. Another good thing is this is one of the versions of leukemia that's curable. So hopefully he can get through and make it back to football. I mean, football for him right now is not priority. Priority for him right now is getting well and surviving this disease.
That's right.
When you look at, and I'll go to the sports side, I really do hope this kid is able to recover and be just as great as he was. But we look at like who was the guy from Kansas City that went down. He was on a Hall of Fame pace. The safety, Berry,
Eric Berry.
Yeah. It was almost like he was able to play, but he wasn't able to get back to that elite level that he was on prior to it. That's what I hope like he's able to do. I mean, he's not even played a snap here yet, so we don't know. But I am interested to see with all the modern medicine and technology, if he's able to get there and pick up where he took, where he left off at, or even ascend to a next level. So speedy recovery to him, and I'll pray the best for him.
Paulie.
Hey man, y'all pretty much said it all, man. You know what I mean? Just get well, God bless. You know what I mean? Hey, he's a young dude, so difference. You brought up Eric Berry. It was later in his career when that happened to him.
True.
You know what I mean? So hopefully, this guy, he can get cleared of the leukemia and come back and continue his career. Because you know what? We us common folks sitting at home, we look at it as a big payday and glitz and glamour. But you know what? At the end of the day, really, them guys are just doing the thing they love. You know what I mean? So if somebody took away the thing I love from me, just snatch it from underneath me, I'll definitely be fighting and scratching to get it back too. So I'm pretty sure that's his mentality and his attitude too. You know, first get his health together. You know, I'm pretty sure he got plenty of support, like you just said, modern medicine and all that. But if it ain't for one snap, you know what I mean, I guarantee you'll see him back on the field.
There we go. John Connor, another one that battled his way back, right?
Right.
There we go. Hey, we thank each and every one of y'all for joining us. Do not forget to like and subscribe to the First String Podcast. You can follow us on Twitter. All of our Twitter handles is up here. Make sure you go back and you can listen to us audio as well with Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. Like and subscribe. As always, download that Bet Rivers app. We appreciate each and every one of y'all for hanging in there. We call it an OG Classic because we get in, we get out. Hit it with Paul Lee.
L to the W, baby.
No dogs.